Alrighty folks, we are back into the action. We're going to have Yuki Layla joined by Stylenide doing Sonic X Shadow Generations, all stages, all bosses, and not a damn wing in sight. I don't want to see a single wing. So I will send it over to the two of you. Take it away.
Yippee! Okay, thank you so much, Syo, for having me on. My name is Yuki Layla, and today I'll be running for you Shadow Generations, all stages, all bosses, no Doom Wings. Unfortunately, there will be a sneaky little Doom Wing at the end, but so sorry to upset you, Syo, but that's just the way it be sometimes, unfortunately.
The run has been cancelled.
I'll be leaving. The run has been cancelled.
It's not actually, I'm sorry. Carry on.
No, it's okay. Awesome. Yeah, okay, so this game is pretty much just a new game plus level rush. We'll be going through all of the levels in the game, showing off lightning fast skips. So yeah, there's not much more to say. Thank you for being here, Dan, and I guess with that we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So we're starting off with Space Colony Arc Act 1. This is probably the most infamous level in the game, because this is the face that you see every single time you press the funny little reset button on your splits. And it starts with this. If I can get it. There we go. That is a gravity skew, or as Dan likes to call it, the Spongrangular. And I just failed it. So you get to see it again, Dan.
You got the gravity skew, you didn't get the landing.
Yeah, I didn't get the landing, but like, yeah. That is just one of the many physics abuses that you will get to see. This game is a brand new AAA game, and it is already broken wide open. It's just released a few months ago. Yeah, it is crazy to see this game being broken so wide open. But yeah, this is silly, funny little hedgehog game. Do you want to explain sort of how that works, Dan? It's not super complicated.
Wait, the whole game, or
the Spongrangular.
Oh, sure. So yeah, what you're doing, like when you're skewing gravity, is I mean, my understanding is more just I do the trick and it works, but you're sort of hitting a point on the edge of a platform with the wrong gravity, and you're basically retaining it in a way you shouldn't, and flying across a part of the level. Pretty epic.
Nice. So a few things to explain about Shadow's basic moveset. We have his jump and homing attack, obviously the most basic modern Sonic movesets. You also have the boost, which allows you to gain near top speed instantaneously. So level designs are built more about maintaining high speeds than gaining high speeds with reaction times. And you also have the most instrumental part of Shadow's moveset, as you've already seen me using quite a bit, the Chaos Spear, which, funny little abuse of how that mechanic works, allows us to do something called spear gliding, which is the backbone of all Shadow Generation speedrunning. It actually allows you to maintain any and all momentum that you have over a gap the second you start your first spear. And it just allows you to do insane skips over large distances and just absolutely keep all your speed. It's so broken. You'll see every single level has a stupid ass application of it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you also saw me do Chaos Control there, which is one of Shadow's just very famous basic moves. It's implemented really interesting here. It will actually stop IGT for 6 seconds every single time you activate it and refill your boost gauge. So it doesn't really save any time RTA if you use it, but it's a very it's still actually quite useful because it refills your boost gauge. where boost management is actually quite the task in a few levels in some cases. So it is something that we do use cheeky manipulations of, and as you saw, it allows you to travel upon a predetermined path whenever you activate it and touch the path, so it's also very useful to take intended skips throughout the level that might be faster.
I also think from like a wider perspective of what you can do with this game as a speedrun, the sort of differentiation you get in strats when you play for IGT versus RTO means that pretty much the majority of levels have two different kinds of routes you can play around, and it just makes the game very deep in that regard. So there's sort of two ways to compete. But obviously, given that this is a full game run, RTA is favoured, because it would be silly to just subtract all that time where you're still moving and playing the game.
Yeah, for sure. It's really silly actually, because Dan is an IL warrior for Arc 1 in this game, and has actually taught me the very insane strats that happen in this level. There's actually some ridiculous strats in this level that...
An example of probably one of the dumbest ones for IGT is you'll notice Layla picked up some canisters with like a lightning bolt on them that instantly fills Shadow's chaos control meter, which is that little dial in the bottom center of the screen. In an IGT run, one of these strats is to actually grab a canister, wait for it to respawn, freeze time, run through it, then keep going through the level, and the net time gain is bigger than the net time loss of waiting for that canister to reappear. So it gets pretty silly, but I like it because it's creative exploitation, even if it's incredibly dishonest.
Yeah, the IGT strats are kind of disgusting. I actually, as myself, an RTA runner, I have not dabbled all too much within the IGT strat sphere, but from what I have seen, it is incredibly ridiculous, just with how asinine some of the IGT abuses get. It's pretty ridiculous how there are just two different strat sets that a runner can learn, and personally I like to just have the one, because otherwise it can muddy up my strats. Okay, forgot to speed glide there. Yeah, but I would not mind dabbling in some IGT at some point, because it's very interesting, and I encourage you also go have a look at it at some point.
The game in general is incredibly strat diverse, even within its own like IGT and RTA subsections. There are so many approaches you can take to saving time and like shortcuts in levels. There's like usually when a game like this is fresh and new, it tends to be that there's a very dominant way to save time and it kind of just takes over. But you have quite a lot of flexibility in how you approach levels in this game, and the fact that a lot of the run is utilizing a lot of the same tech, so like spear gliding, knowing how to conserve Shadow's momentum and like carry boost into jumps and exploit the mechanics of like jumping while carrying boost in midair and then boosting again to like gain a bit of height and speed. Like little things like that you can apply pretty much everywhere in the game in different spots to tailor a run that is achievable for you.
Yeah. So yeah, you just saw us finish Space Colony Arc Act 2, and now we're moving on to Sonic Heroes. So we're actually going back in time 2 days. I'm sorry, Styo.
Every time you go over one of these dash pads, if you switch from power back to speed, you'll actually hit the dash pad twice. Coming up, there's going to be a double bolt boost, and you're going to want to thunder shoot and use a piece of rock as a visual. Oh shit! Hang on, this is Shadow Gens.
Sorry, Syo, we've gone back in time, and you have to restart the whole marathon again. We're back to Sonic Heroes.
I think I would actually pass away.
I would just like to, if this is actually happening, I'd like to advise all viewers to invest all of your stocks into Blue V.
Yeah, what?
I'm gonna need a lot of blue V's if we're doing the whole marathon over again. I'm gonna need some time off work as well, so someone's gonna need to shout me some annual leave. Do you mind if I jump in with a quick 2 donations?
For sure.
Excellent. So we had $50 from the FF1 Fiends, a 50 burger, if you will. Thank you very much for that. There's no comment, but appreciate it all the same. And then 25 from Chili Pepper, who said, "Where Oshiro?"
Oh, you! Me when I fucking get you. Oh my gosh. Oshiro will be coming back soon. Don't worry.
And back to you.
Awesome. So, yeah, you saw me take a really punishing death. Rail Canyon is, if not Arc 1 with its really punishing gravity skew, which pretty much just if you miss, you kind of just have to reset. Rail Canyon has just a lot of jank. It has a lot of places where you can just die because rails are very jank to work with. They're just very thin pieces of geometry, obviously, that you just have to land on sometimes, or else you just get shit on loser.
It's very true to most people's casual experience with the original Rail Canyon.
Coming up, we actually have a skip that I hope I can get. It's a little bit difficult. It's just a bit of a mash window, but this is dual dive skip coming up. Hopefully.
Don't mind Black Doom constantly sending us to Radical Highway, by the way. He's just a big fan of supporting modern infrastructure.
So I didn't get it there. If before starting the dive, you can input a double jump there, which I don't fully understand. I know you can just mash for it, but it's unfortunate that I missed it there. Whoops. Yeah, Black Doom just really likes just taking you to Radical Highway.
Wants to show you what he's been working on over all these years. He's a big SimCity fan, and he really wants to show like someone what he's been up to while he's been in the random dimension.
In white space, yeah. He just really do be thinking, how do I make this about Radical Highway?
He did well.
He did well. Now take me back to Rail Canyon. I like losing more time. Yeah. So this game cool. This game cool. There is like the rest of this level is pretty straightforward. You're just kind of boosting on rails. There's this big skip at the end, which I am hoping that I can hit.
Well, you did something interesting with the Chaos Control canister. You did CCG there.
Yes.
So what Chaos Control glitches in Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, if you activate Chaos Control the moment you open a checkpoint, you actually hold that state until something stops him. So you can just go straight to the goal ring. But in this copycat imposter poser game, what it actually does here is what it does here is if you hold the Chaos Control input as you go over a canister, it'll instantly activate it and also give it to you twice. So the instant Chaos Control ends, you get another one from. And obviously, RTA, not really a big deal in terms of freezing the timer, but in terms of freezing hazards, in terms of getting those boosts back, it's really nice.
So now we're entering Rail Canyon 2, which unfortunately has the biggest skip in the game, which I will not be showing you because no one has taught it to me yet. The eternal struggle of being a speedrunner. But it does highlight something pretty interesting in that neutral sticking most of the time is a great way to preserve momentum. You can see me doing jumps off of rails with the stick in neutral. That actually maintains a lot more speed than if I had jumped off of it while holding forward. Also, I did the same application of CCG there, which I actually think is a way better name for it than capsule glitch, which is what the community normally calls it.
Oh, okay. In that case, that's even funnier that it's not actually called CCG. I literally was just applying Shadow 05 glitch name.
Yeah, no, I think CCG is a way better name for it, honestly. But yeah, you can see me just doing jumps off of the rails that would normally be a lot slower if I was holding forward. And that's quite a general principle in most of the game, actually. Doing air boosts for spear glides with the stick and neutral, and doing jumps off of buildings. Like you saw, I was grinding down that building in Arc 1. Doing jumps off of stuff like that actually is faster if you do it in a neutral stick position. So, oh my god,
I was wondering, I don't know if this was just like a happy coincidence. When you were on one of the rails earlier, you were jumping after doing a few spear glides and had a bit of speed, and you jumped over every dash pad on the railing. Do they bring you back down to a speed cap, or was that just...
They actually lock you, those specific dash pads lock you into an animation where you cannot jump, and you want to be able to jump to skip a spring. So, generally in modern Sonic games, skip the automation is generally always slower. There are quite a few edge cases, but yeah, in that case, I wanted to skip those dash pads so that I could skip a spring. And I believe they do limit your speed, yes. So here we have BioLizard, Fox's boy. Shout out to Fox Machine. Which is also my least favorite boss in the game because it is a 2-minute 34-second auto-scroller. I wish I could just take this guy. I wish I could just take this guy, the damn BioLizard, and just crush him. Just crush him in my hand.
You got Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam recently. You need to detox with that game. You can just spam the shit out of homing attacks on his back and go straight up to the life support machine every time.
Oh, shit.
It's awesome.
Shit. Please. Okay, thank god. Yeah, but I've also seen that boss, and it doesn't look very forgiving either way.
It's fun, though.
So right here, normally with that exact punch, BioLizard will smash the ground multiple times before you get to homing attack him, but if you use Chaos Control, you freeze him in place very cheekily. And you just get to do an early cycle, and it sucks because you optimize an auto-scroller so much to the point where you greed doing the Chaos Control early, and then you lose 6 seconds. More than that? Oh, I hate this boss so much, man. There's a way that you can actually save about like 3 seconds or so on this fight that actually has a very high potential to kill you. But the only way to make the autoscroller go by quickly and to do something way more interesting is one of the riskiest strats in the game, and I hate it. I hate BioLizard. I dislike this man. He has taken way too many early game splits from me.
The Salamander community will never recover from this.
He's a huge shoutouts to Alpha Dolphin, the world record 90% runner at the time. He's a huge meme in that community, and I just don't get the hype. I'm sorry.
He's just a funny looking dog.
Damn, that's one fucked up looking dog, man. Okay, that is the end of BioLizard. Thank God. Oh, God. I'm so done with BioLizard. I hope I never have to see him again, but I do! I do. Hate this fucking salamander. Fucking lizard. Okay, so now we have Kingdom Valley 1, which is actually one of the standout difficulty spikes in the game because it has 3 very particular skips, technically 4 if you want to get into the weeds of it. This is the trilogy of tower skips, which are quite easy but also quite volatile and easy to mess up skips. So hopefully I get them. Fingers crossed. I'm going to lock in. One thing that you will also notice is that these probably aren't the themes that you would be expecting to hear in you know, normal Sonic levels if you've ever played a Sonic game before. True to the name Shadow Generations, in the original Generations game, you actually had the ability to change the in-level music with collectible music tracks that you got throughout the game. Same is true here, but if you cough up a little bit of extra money, which I might be a filthy DLC buyer, you can get actually a few extra tracks from Sonic's Past, which are really cool, and I'd say are well worth it.
Do you have Westopolis on any of the levels?
Yes.
Alright,
okay, so here comes the first skip. There we go. That is Pillar Skip, and followed immediately by Tower Skip 1. Nice. So this is Doom Surf, and this is the one of Shadow's many Doom powers. This is the Super Mario Sunshine Manta Ray, but actually not. This is how Shadow traverses water. And that was Tower Skip 2.
So the interesting thing about like Doom Surf while this goes on is when you like sort of first get that landing state in water with Doom Surf, you can boost out of it. So part of the optimizing the route with Doom Surf there, as you saw, was actually like colliding with the wall and sort of going up above the water to land back in it again and boost again. So even though it might have looked not optimal to hit the wall and do that, it was actually a really effective way of pointing Shadow in a new direction and then reapplying that speed where you want to go. So
yeah,
there's also the sidestep nonsense, which is really silly.
It maintains the speed that you get from the initial boost over a much longer period of time. Unfortunately, I missed it in that last Doom Surf section in the level. And there it is like probably one of the bigger time saves. But unfortunately, if you're a little bit too slow on the draw, you lose all the speed, unfortunately. What? That was a gold? No! What? Too bad I'm a minute 11 behind. Love that.
Hang on, this is just a script from Sonic Heroes.
What? Huh?
Constantly getting golds and being behind.
I mean, okay, look, I'm there to give you golds, you're here to give me golds.
Oh, okay.
And goodbye, lizards.
I love the funny dog.
You love the funny dog. Ma! There's a fucked up looking cat outside! So yeah, this is KV2. No, we left KV1. Kingdom Valley, or Bingdom Valley as it is better known by me specifically. This Kingdom Valley 2 is a very intricate 2D level. You might have actually noticed the pattern here. Every single stage is divided up into 2 acts. The first act is fully 3D. First for the Sonic series, actually, outside of the adventure games, or first for boost games, shall I say. The second level is fully 2D. Now, this would be a bit of a complaint for me personally, but I actually really like 2D levels. Shocker as a Celeste runner, I know. And these ones are actually quite well crafted. I enjoy them quite a bit. And I'd say that they actually do not break up the pace at all. I'd say that they're very welcome additions, and you can fight me on that.
Alright, see you at the Macca's car park at 3 PM. No, I actually like 2D levels as well, they're alright.
I'll take a double McChicken, a McFlurry...
Oh, I do not need to hear your heart attack order again.
Love you too, Dan. Funny thing here, you get off of this dash pad, take this bird. If you use Chaos Control before you get to this bird, then the bird actually doesn't pick you up. It's not scripted. It's actually like a real-time bird.
Real-time bird.
Real-time bird. So,
yeah, I had a pet bird, but it was running on IGT, so I had to get a new one.
Real-time bird. Yeah, so that was KV2. Not much to say, just a very fun 2D movement, and I enjoy this level very much. Go around this game. It's got some good strats. This game is actually very strat centric. So shocker about me. I also run Celeste, which is a very moment to moment centric game, and this is one of the games that's just very different in how you approach it and how time save is gained, because it's just hit the strat. Like, you don't have to be particularly on par with the movement that you're doing, but it's just very interesting in that way. I like the dichotomy of different speed games and how their strats sort of are handled. I don't know. I just find that to be an interesting observation. Do with that what you will. So now we're in Sonic Forces Purgatory. I wish I wasn't after that. But yeah, this is a little bit suspect because I thought Sonic Generations was supposed to be about games that you'd already been through. And at this point in the timeline, Shadow has not been to Forces. But I digress.
Yeah, they kind of break rules because they do the same thing with Chaos Island from Frontiers as well.
Go to Dial though. You can get sniped here by those pebbles that those robots are throwing, and that is very scary. Yeah, I guess Sunset Heights is more or less characterized by its very interesting abuses of chaos control. Like, you just saw me preserve a capsule there throughout the entire level. Whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Mark your bingo cards.
It wasn't supposed to happen, not that it hasn't happened before!
Yeah, no, that's still an entry on the bingo cards, or on some of them.
Shit. Oh my god, that's never happened before.
Alright, mark the other one now.
Mark the other one now. You're welcome, Syo. Yeah, but okay. Well, we're just taking the scenic route today. Sunset 1 is characterized by its very interesting use of chaos control abuse. Even RTA, even though we don't want to be abusing it as much for IGT, there's still just a lot of places where it's very optimal to use chaos control, especially at the very start, and now we're in Spectacle Highway. Yeah, so unfortunately, a lot of the Red Highway sections outside of Red Highway itself, which, spoiler alert, is the last level in the game, kind of filler, unfortunately. But like they're kind of just opportunities to lose time over bottomless pits, so they're a little bit scary, but they only show up in about 3 of the 5 levels in the game, so we get a brief reprieve in Kingdom Valley and Chaos Island, which is coming up very soon. But yeah, there's not much to say in this section right here, so if we have any donations, then we can throw it over to you, Sai, if there's anything that you want to say.
No, no donations per se, but just a reminder that Syothon is part of the Gamers Outreach Jolly Jamboree, which is a wider event that a lot of different streamers and organizations are participating in. So Syothon is just an entry into that sort of wider event, hosted by Gamers Outreach, that do great things for hospitalized children in terms of getting these portable gaming kiosks out to them so that they can socialize and play games with other patients and friends and family and all that good stuff. So far during the Jolly Jamboree, we have raised $950, far surpassing the $500 goal that I set out. And as a collective event, the Jolly Jamboree has just in the past couple of minutes hit over $126,000. Which
oh my gosh,
outstanding.
Let's go.
So very, very happy to be contributing to that. Yeah, there's still a couple hours left in the event. I would really love to see the 1,000 mark. I think that'd be awesome. So if you do kindly want to throw a few dollars over towards the cause, it would be very much appreciated. There have been a bunch of like Twitch subs and bits and whatnot. That for the Jolly Jamboree syothon streams specifically, that revenue will also go towards the donation total as well. So we're a little bit closer than it seems to that 1,000 mark. But with that, I'll hand it back over to you. Thank you, Layla.
Thank you. So yeah, support Gamers Outreach Jolly Jamboree, very good. That's so disingenuous though. I'm sorry, I just woke up like half an hour ago. Yeah, so right now we're in Sunset 2, which is probably one of the more brutal 2D levels in the game, because most of them are quite just refreshing breaths of air, but this is just a genuinely difficult one, even compared to the next stage, Chaos Island. I find that to be quite the breeze. But boost management here is actually quite difficult, especially here, but we make do. This is one of the places that chaos control is actually very important, because coming up there is actually these little pipes behind us that actually push water out of them and push you into another layer of the 2D section below, which is not optimal. We don't like that. But this level has a lot of time loss opportunity, because you can kind of just fall down into like 20 seconds slower routes, lose a lot of time, or just it's not fun. It's quite the punishing level, but right there we got actually quite a clean Sunset 2, and we're exiting with no real qualms. Nice. So, with the pattern of 2 stages and then a boss, I bet you can't think of what's happening now. It's a boss, and one of the biggest jammers of the entire game, actually. So, yeah, get your hype emotes out if you want. Syothon, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we finally get to hear what I'm made of.
Hell yeah, Crush 40, fuck yeah. So Dan, do tell, when are you running this game? You're being quizzed. There's a very particular answer to this question.
Yeah, I know the answer. You know the answer.
I know the
audience
answer.
know the answer.
Oh wait, okay. I might actually not hit this one cycle. So Metal Overlord has a one cycle where you can just skip an entire part of the level if you damage him enough before a certain point. After this long stretch right here, you will actually move on to this big tail swiping section with a lot more swinging. And if you don't actually damage him enough before then you actually will have to go through all of that. But if you do what I just did, then you'll be able to skip straight to the next phase. And I was actually quite worried that I did not hit it. So that is very unfortunate. Very fortunate. I'm just gonna stop talking. Enjoy what I'm made of. No, I'm not actually gonna stop talking. You're stuck with me for the next half hour.
If you go fast, it could be less than half an hour. It could be 9 plus 10 minutes.
I do gotta jump in with the interruption. We did it, folks.
Oh, good.
$50 came through from Lightning Flare, the big man himself. Lightning Flare, good friend of mine in real life. He said $50 to cross the 1K mark. Yeah, I could do that. You absolute legend. That puts us at $1,000 raised for Gamers Outreach through Syothon and the Jolly Jamboree. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Let's go.
So happy about that.
Excellent.
Oh my god.
Mate. Back to you, Layla and Starlight.
Not a problem. Thank you for the interruption, because that's actually very important. Fuck yeah. For $1,000, I'm very happy that we could reach that during Shadow Generations. Thank you.
So with the song, Lightning Flare showed us what he's made of, and the answer is money. So anyways.
Yo! And with that, we have also shown Metal Overlord what we are made of, and it's weird Doom manta rays. So yeah, thank God that we've indeed shown him what we're made of, and we're done with Metal Overlord now. It's just a very good, very cool showcase of forcing you to use Doom Surf, but I don't really mind. So it's probably one of my more favorite boss fights in the game. And now we have the boss that everyone wants you to forget about. Just sweep under the rug. We have Mephiles from Sonic 06, which is the best boss fight in the game. Actually, no, it's not. But we can do this out of order. So I just kind of got carried away. So this is actually a sequence break where we just skip Chaos Island, actually. I'm very tired and forgot my routing. So, yeah, let's just do this. Let's do this. Let's just pretend that Chaos Island doesn't exist, but we actually have to do Chaos Island. We're just putting syothon way ahead of estimate. Or way ahead, yeah. I don't know, man, don't talk to me.
Also,
So-
what Lou was kind of referring to about, like, forgetting the boss fight and sweeping under the rug, this character in canon has been, like, erased from history. Shadow has no fucking idea who this guy is while he's fighting him, and he is just, like, Mephiles is absolutely coping
Seething.
and seething the entire time, knowing that he's not canon. So it's just funny. It's just very amusing. If
Vocabulary.
you're not familiar with the franchise, this guy is from Sonic 06, which I'm sure people know what that is, even if they haven't played it. So yeah, he's just in canon jail, and he's not happy, and it's funny. Lamau.
Lamau, coat plus seethe plus mold, L plus ratio. Yeah, Mephiles is a very fun demonstration of the ability Doom Morph, which you see me using now. Which you should have seen me use. Oh, okay. Nice time loss, Layla. You should have seen me using in Chaos Island, but yeah, we do Chaos Island skip, where you just don't do Chaos Island. But Mephiles is just very interactive. It's got a lot of layers to it, and it's actually got a lot of places where you can lose time. And where it's just very dynamic. I enjoy it. Let's undo skip button. Or maybe skip. Okay. You know what? Whatever. I do not remember how to skip my splits. My skip a split, but we're going to just delete these. Along with Mephiles, just sweep him under the rug.
Decanonize your splits.
Decanonize my splits, so true. So now, thanks to my mismenuing, we're going to this a little bit late. So this is Chaos Island from Sonic Frontiers. Goated game, fight me. Goated song, goated level, goated IL, goated everything. Oh, okay, never mind, it's actually dog shit. I fucked up the movement. No. So this, as you can see, has some very silly applications of the spear glide where we just go over all the level. I really enjoy Chaos Island for its use of the Doom Morph, and just for its insane skip potential that you can use with spear gliding. Right here, this is actually a loop skip, an unintended skip with the spear glide. Hell yeah, that one's actually quite a bit more difficult. Doom Morph is a very finicky part of Shadow's moveset to get used to, which I guess for those people who do find it quite difficult to deal with, you're welcome, because it is only in one actual level in the game. Oh, please, thank you. I almost commented my death. Nice. But I've had a friend describe it as if you were back in Sonic Unleashed, where boost jumping just sent you flying. or I guess in Dan's case, the Adventure 1 games, where spin dash jumping is just the answer to everything. But yeah, it's got quite the silly momentum conservation strats, which I adore. I love doing more. And you're going to get to see a lot more of it in the following level in Act 2. So here, just an intentional use of Chaos Control to stop Shadow from getting crushed Indiana Jones style. I don't know if that happens in Indiana Jones, it just looks like it would. I haven't seen the movies.
Yeah, Indiana Jones gets like crushed horribly and dies at the start of the first movie, and then you never see him again in the other two. It's really weird. I don't know why they named the franchise after this random dude who just dies in a temple, but you know, whatever.
Oh my god, and as with Indiana Jones, we'll take our swift leave. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. On to Chaos Island 2. But yeah, I kind of have. I guess one thing I can cover as I'm falling to my death is just one of the things that you'll actually be seeing in the next level, which I guess I can comment on now, which suspiciously you haven't been seeing that much yet. Nice one, Layla. Is actually a tech called flinging. There are quite a few of them throughout the game. There's one in Kingdom Valley 2, there's one in Rail Canyon 2, which is, I guess, now the biggest skip in the game. They are actually just sections where you enter automation from different angles, where you... the way the game handles automation is just gets really confused when it sees you. Wait, you're not supposed to enter from here, and it actually just sends you in a completely different direction with a lot of speed. And we abuse that at very specific angles to fly over sections of levels. There's a fling in Rail Canyon 2 that saves about a minute, and I would love to do it. I think I actually did mention it earlier in Rail Canyon 2, but you're about to see one of the biggest things in the game coming up very soon, in probably a level that I'm Stockholm Syndromed into liking the most, in Radical Highway, because Black Doom is not done taking us to Radical Highway. He still do be thinking about how we can make it about Radical Highway, thankfully, and we love him for that.
He just loves supporting infrastructure.
You just love supporting your local infrastructure. But, unfortunately, when Shadow shows up, he's just like, what the fuck is this? Because I can't drive a car to work here. There's no Radical Highway. So, yeah. Let's enter Radical Highway, and hopefully I can show off to you guys a very apt representation of Godfling. Enjoy the Sonic Forces banger, which Sonic Forces, like C tier game, A tier, S tier soundtrack, honestly. And I hope that I'm not in the minority there. Oh,
I like the shadow music from it, and I have a soft spot for Fist Bump. The rest of it doesn't do much for me.
That is very valid. So here, you remember Pillar Skip in KB1? Yep. Nice. So this is actually the first level in the any % route where you get introduced to Doom Wings, and there's actually two routes. There's an upper and lower route that are like one's for Doom Wings and the other is for no Doom Wings. But we actually take a lot of the Doom Wings paths here. So if I can just focus. Ah, shit. Okay, it's a classic that has happened before. So take that off your bingo card, Syothon watchers. Should work. Nice! Okay, so that we kind of fell down quite a bit there, but that is Godfling. That is probably one of my favorite skips in the game. Once again, purely because I'm Stockholm Syndrome into liking it so much. But it is really cool. As we said, it's the tech called Flinging. That was weird. We use the tech called Flinging to enter. We enter the automation from a really unintended angle, and that has some really fucky results with just sending us across the level. And that is a real gold. Let's go. So yeah, there's some really. Oh, I just entered with cheater mode. No, we're
going to be seeing wings in this run.
No, we will be seeing wings in this run, just not by cheating. I refuse to do a single level in this game with wings.
It's probably a good opportunity to actually indicate like why the category different between wings and no wings. What's the significance of it, Layla? Tell the audience. They are dying to know.
So you'll see in the okay, nice one. I get to explain more. So wings is the pretty much supersonic form that you get in this game. Right before Radical Highway, you gain access to it, where it actually splits every single level in the game, every single act into two, where you can do it without Doom Wings, and where you can do it with Doom Wings. So you've been seeing me do also not cheeky out of bounds here. I hope you like spear gliding because you're about to see it a lot. Yeah, so wings kind of just breaks levels wide open, just because you get to glide across just entire sections of geometry for free. And it also just has some of the most ridiculous out of bounds. Let's go! Holy, saved it. Let's go. Nice recovery. Yeah, you can see a lot of level geometry here in Radical Highway 2 where it was meant for Doom Wings. And we just say bugger that because we're not actually using Doom Wings. In other levels, there are actually some stupid applications, especially in Act 2s, that are all 2D, where you actually say, bugger that, I want to be in 3D. So there's a lot of 3D and 2Ds, sorry, that are actually enabled through wings. So it's pretty broken. So the two categories, no wings and wings, are actually huge dichotomies. I think the world record for wings by Esther right now is approximately 54 minutes as opposed to... Oh, no, like 45 minutes, sorry. IGT, as opposed to the 48? 47? I'm not entirely sure. It's ridiculous just how much time you can save with wings. So there's a ridiculous... Like, it's incredibly necessary to have this distinction because the runs actually differ quite a lot. So yeah, coming to the end of Radical Highway 2, which is actually coming up on the final boss fight. So you will actually see the Doom Wings, unfortunately. I did say no wings, but it is only in spirit. I'm sorry, Syo. I'll be taking my leave after the run's done, obviously. So this is Devil Doom. This is basically just a recap of all the different Doom powers that we gain throughout the game. First off, we have Doom Surf, which is just kind of a rehashing of Metal Overlord. And then we have Doom Morph, which you saw us use briefly. It's probably one of the most underrepresented Doom powers in the game, which I think is very unfortunate because it's by far my favorite, and I want to see more Doom Morph, or else I will riot. No. And then we have an section that's pretty much just your basic supersonic fight against the big final boss, where you use wings, unfortunately, so very, very sad. We do have to see wings in this run. I'll stop hammering this bit into the ground. So yeah, it's like, in my eyes, this is kind of an unfortunately anticlimactic boss fight, because the run just ends in Rad 2, and here it's just don't die forehead. I have actually lost some runs in dead runs, but I've lost egregious amounts of time to just going between some dash rings in the Doom Surf section, and this boss fight has some jank. So this is the Doom Morph section, we just skip over that. There's some actually quite interesting routing just with abusing how absolutely stupidly broken the boost jump with Doom Morph is. Like, look at that! Love to see it. You just fly above the entire level. It's so cool. So, yeah, we are coming up on the final section. Surprisingly long boss fight. Okay, well I actually get to demonstrate the oh shit springs, as I like to call them. This is actually quite a forgiving section of the boss. Because you get just a lot of safety nets. Like, this part of the fight really does not want you dying. But with that, we are moving on to the Doomwing section. So run automatically invalid. I said I'd stop hammering the bit into the ground. God damn it, Layla.
Now it's being hammered below ground.
Yeah. We will beat this dead horse until it stops giving us money. But yeah, I guess this is the final section where we are just trying to track down Black Doom and give him a good old ass whooping. I guess this is time for final words. Dan, if there's anything that you want to say, then please go ahead.
What's 9 plus 10?
I love you. Actually, 9 plus 10 is how old I am.
As the first piece of the Doc's puzzle, stay tuned for next marathon, where we will give a hint of her lat-long coordinates.
Yeah, Dad actually installed a zip bomb on my computer last night, where he now knows my exact location and IP address. So, yeah, he is at liberty to
21, believe it or not.
Nice. So with me, I guess I just want to shout out a lot of my friends who have been supporting me through running this game, namely Fox Machine and Input Evolution, who are also quite big Sonic fans. Fox, who will be seen up next, stick around for their run. And I guess I just want to shout out the Shadgen speedrunning community. There are a lot of awesome people. I wish I could interact more because everyone there is so cool. But yeah, they have been instrumental in finding the strats that I'm using and actually helping mold the run that you've just seen now. And I want to thank Sai for having me. So this was a really awesome time, and I'm very glad I got to show off one of my new favorite games, and that is Time. So that is Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for having me, Sayo.
Outstanding stuff. You did the whole intro sequence for me. I didn't need to prompt anything. You're a professional at this point.
Thank you. I guess there's
syothon participant.
There's not much to say while I actually break the rules of the category, so I'm glad I could do that for you.
You're all good. You're all good. That was that was a sick run, actually. I haven't actually seen that game yet since it was released, so that was absolutely epic, and always a pleasure to have the both of you on.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, you already did all the final words and everything. There's nothing else I got to do. But there was one question that the chat just wants to know. The people want to know.
Absolutely.
They've been absolutely hounding me. They've been sending me mail. They've been arriving at my front door, knocking, asking. They're asking. They want to know, where can we find more Yuki Layla?
Awesome. Thank you so much for asking, Mr. Sayo. First name Sayo, last name Thon. You can you can find me at twitch.tv/Yuki-Layla. That is where I stream. I mainly do Celeste runs, but I am wanting to do a lot more Shad Gens. So you will be seeing a lot more of this game from me. And that is where you can find it. You can also find my YouTube channel where I mainly just upload VODs of my PBs. That is under the same name. But yeah, I guess there is not much else from me. This is a super awesome game. Everyone should go run it because it is very easy to just pick up and play, as with most modern Sonic games. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, Sayo. I'll let you do the finishing words.
And likewise, thank you for joining. Actually, one thing before I let both of you go, something that I wanted to tell the chat room that was making me laugh a lot, was when I posted the schedule in like the Discord timestamps with the local time. When I put this run in and this game, when I punched it in, I typoed and wrote this game as Sonic X Shadow Graduation.
Congratulations for
and
Shadow.
Stylenide instantly caught that and thoroughly rinsed me for it. It was just it was very funny, and it definitely it was it just gave me a good chuckle while I was getting that all arranged. So
I actually didn't catch that until last night.
It was so funny. Stylenide starts reacting to it with like the graduation cap.
Yeah, he's now Ultimate Lifeform PhD with the completion of this run, so everyone applaud for Shadow.
Everyone applaud for Shadow.
Stuff.
He's gotten his wings.
In more ways than one. Now, with that, I will send the both of you off into the night. Thank you both for all of your participation and everything throughout Syothon. Much love and much appreciation to both of you for showcasing a fantastic run so well. I'll send you off now. Bidum and Bidum. Two fantastic members of the Australian speedrun community. Now, okay, so we are going to get the next run teed up here, which is going to be Crypt of the Necrodancer Dove All Zones by Fox Machine. We are a touch behind schedule still, but that should be okay. I think this one should be a pretty clean setup as well. There is still 4 runs left as well. If you type in !schedule, you'll be able to see the remaining runs, which is going to be Fox Machine with Crypt of the Necrodancer doing Dove All Zones, which, as far as I understand, I'm not too familiar with the game, but as far as I understand, it's like a pacifist run of sorts. Rab doing Monsters Inc. Scream Team, a favorite of mine, doing any percent without metal duplication, which is basically all levels. Rippy doing Titanfall 2 all helmets, which is like a collectible within that game, I believe. And to close out the show, the man, Dactley, the big man, Dactley, closing out the Year of the Dragon with Year of the Dragon 149 egg, which is going to all be very, very exciting. So stay tuned, folks. We will get these runs set up and we'll be going back into the action shortly. Thank you very much.